Hello, you guys. Thanks for joining in tonight. The Audio Master Show. Man, we got some great things going on tonight, as always. And one, we are going to be talking about compressors tonight. What is the best compressors out there to buy to put in your studio? Because as you know, there are so many great compressors, entry level compressors, middle of the road that do the job just fine. But what about those compressors that we can strap across the whole mix, man? And that's what I want to talk about tonight is those ones that are two channel compressors, tube compressors that we can put across that whole mix, man, and actually make that baby blow up and be huge on the mix, man, and just add that butter and ice cream and all the good flavors to your mix, man. Thanks for joining in tonight, man. Hey, I did want to say if you have not hit that subscribe button, right down snare, you know the deal, man. Wrap it up on that baby, man, and come on in and join on in tonight because we're going to be talking about some cool stuff. As every engineer that I know uh, love to talk about compressors and how they react and how they just they have their own personality, man, and they do their own thing and can really take your music sounding to the next level as to a nice, polished sounding recording, man. And that's what compressors do, man. They bring things up, they push things down, they squash, they pump, they move, they glue, they do all these things that's necessary to actually getting a recording to sound like a record. Man, what would we have done without compressors, man? You know, they used to ride those faders back in the day. You'd have an engineer in there, man. He'd be sitting in the booth and he'd be watching the vocalist, man. He'd be moving those faders up and down and trying to catch those moments when the singer's actually singing real loud and pulling those faders down and whatnot. But the beautiful thing is we have compressors today that do a wonderful job of riding that vocal line, man, and actually keeping it at bay right where it needs to be. And so they're used for a lot of different other things too. And throughout the years, through the 60s and 70s and whatnot, the Van Halen albums and everything, they actually would use those compressors, man, to actually pump and move and make that music sound like it's just moving around in a beautiful way, man. So there, you can get crazy with it, and you can get as crazy as you want. But tonight I wanted to talk about my favorite top three compressors that are known to man. Well, they're one of my favorite three of all time, and probably in just about every major studio worldwide out there, or every top engineer in the world in their home studios. So, as you guys know, there are a lot of different kind of compressors. There are a lot of solid state compressors, and I wanted to talk about tube versus solid state. But tonight I wanted to keep it simple and talk about the three compressors that I like with tubes in them. I actually brought them up on my phone earlier so that I would be a little more prepared tonight. But one I wanted to talk about, it'll run you about $2,300, man. I don't know what your funds are like, man, but for $2,300, you're hoping you're going to get something good, right? But I wanted to talk about this one. It's the Drummer 1960. The Drummer 1960. Now, the Drummer has been out for a long, long time, and they were really known a lot and renowned for in the 60s. In the early 60s and whatnot, Drummer did some great stuff, but I just remember. Using some of their stuff in the past and really really loving their stuff, and I want to tell you something about the drummer. It just has such a sound to it, almost like it's not even there. It's just, you really have to hear that thing work to believe that it's even strapped in, but it just does some beautiful things to the mix. It just sounds wonderful. Here it is right here. I actually pulled it up on Sweetwater's website. I don't know, it's got 5 stars on here, man, but I wanted to show you this, what it looked like. If you can see that, let's see if you can get that in the picture there, man. Ah, Come on, man. Is it going to show you guys? Anyway, you can look it up. Go to Sweetwater, check it out. The Drummer 1960. It's a tube compressor, and that comes in at number three for me. I love the Drummer. I love everything. You know, they've been around a long time too. So they're not some new kid on the block, man, trying to make it somewhere. These guys are on records, and they have been for many, many years. Check out the Drummer. It is probably one. I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of hard to say how describe how it sounds and whatnot. But check out all the reviews. Ask the pro engineers, and they'll tell you, man, Drummer is a beautiful sounding compressor. The 1962 channel. Um, I like going two channel just simply because you can strap it across the bus mix. You could use one channel for one thing going in. You can use the other channel for another instrument going in. So there's different ways you can route the two channel compressor and get the most out of it. Yeah, man. So the other one that comes in number two that I wanted to talk about, and you can find it at Sweetwater as well. It is the Manley ELOP. I really like. Now I've actually had this one in my personal studio before. It's going to set you back about $2,500, man. But it just really sounds really, really beautiful. It's all tube compressor, audio path, and so if I can blow it up enough where you guys can at least see it, I don't know. Sorry about this, guys, but hey, this is what you can do. Go to Sweetwater, check them out, check out their products. They got everything, a lot of professional gear in there, and so that'll set you back about 2,500. But that one comes in at number two for me. Now, I'm not just bringing these up and talking about these things because I haven't heard them. I'm talking about these things because I've actually either had them in my personal studio or used them in someone else's studio and just actually could not believe the results that I was hearing whenever these babies were strapped across the main bus. It was a completely different song. It seemed like it just really glued the tracks together and brought everything together. And hey, man, get other people's advice on this too, man. So don't just take my advice on it, but get other reviews. Check it out, man. Tube compressors, what they can do for your music, how they blow up the sound, how they glue the tracks together, and how you really need one great one at least to work with to strap across your mix, man. So here is number one for me, in under the $5,000 range, and I love Tech. Tube Tech, the CL2A two-channel tube optical compressor, run you about $4,350, right? Snare. That's what she looks like, man. You can find that on the Sweetwater website. Check it out, man. Tube Tech. They've been around a long, long time, and just does magical things to your mix, man. So those are my top three compressors I wanted to talk about tonight, man. But here's the thing: there are a lot of other solid state stuff out there that I love and just crave to have again back in my studio here. One is the distressor. The distressor is the multi. I don't know, man. It is like it just Swiss Army knife of all compressors. It does emulates the DBX 160. It emulates all these other great the LA2A, all these other great compressors that are known to man. So we're going to be talking about that on the next video. So you do not want to miss out on the next video. Some of my favorite solid state compressors out there, man. I had to mention the distressor to kind of bring you on in, man, because there are some really great compressors out there, and there's some stuff out there that I do not recommend getting unless you're just really, really on a budget and you're just starting out in the audio world and you only got a couple $100 to spend, man. So we'll talk about that last. But first, I want to talk about my top three stereo compressors, tube compressors, and then tomorrow night, join on in. We're going to talk about my top three solid state compressors. Now, these compressors, guys, are in every major studio out there pretty much and are used by top dog engineers. And you hear these compressors on tons and tons of your albums that you're listening to right now of your favorite artists. So, anyway, I'm not just pulling these out of a magazine to talk about them. These are top grade compressors that are used on a lot of records. So, thank you guys for joining in tonight. As always, at the Audio Master Show, man, we appreciate each and every one of you because each and every one of you are very, very important. If you're just joining along, go ahead, man, and like and share and put down there below in the description what compressors you're using in your studio, man, and what you like to use and why, man. Let's raise the question for other people to join in and hang out and see what they're using too, man. So anyway, I wanted to share that great information with you. If you're just a novice starting out, or if you're in the middle road, you've been recording for 5, 6, 8 years or whatever, or if you're top way up there, you've been in the business for 30 years plus, man. I want to hear from all of you guys, man. I want to know what you're using and why and what you like to use it on what particular songs and the whole 9 yards, man. So thank you guys for joining in tonight, as always, and we will see you tomorrow.